Hello everyone and welcome to another royal reading. I am using the Crow Tarot today, as you can see from the cards out on the tarot table. There is the Crow Tarot, the very good tarot deck, and I am looking today at Harry and Samantha and Twitter, and whether Harry did in fact get Samantha Markle's Twitter account cancelled. These are the cards that I use for Twitter, my Twitter deck. And Thomas Markle seems to believe, according to the interview he had with Dan Wootton yesterday, I think it was, which I watched, very short interview, he seems to believe that it was Harry, that Harry used his contacts at Twitter to cancel Samantha. Of course, the court case was announced, and then Samantha's Twitter account, apparently, I didn't really follow this, I was aware of it, but apparently it was cancelled. Samantha was silenced on Twitter. So I want to know, we know that Harry had Jack Dorsey's email address, and that Harry used that email address to warn Jack Dorsey that Twitter was being used to foment revolution during the Capitol riots last year. And we also know that Jack Dorsey didn't bother to reply. He ghosted Prince Harry, which is rather amusing. And it's one of the things that I did readings on several times, and for some reason, every time I did a reading on it, the reading disappeared, got lost, didn't upload properly or whatever, and eventually I just gave up. There have been a few things that I've tried to read on. For some reason or other, Universe has not wanted that reading up on this YouTube channel. So now we're going to try again. I know that Jack Dorsey is no longer the CEO of Twitter. They put someone more woke in, apparently. Again, it's not something I'm particularly following, something I am vaguely aware of. But one more shuffle. I'm going to do a 5-card reading. There is the Queen of Wands. She's out, even though I'm not directly asking her about her in this reading, but she's come out. So, wanted to be seen. When does she not want to be seen? And 5-card reading to see whether Prince Harry got Samantha cancelled because of the court case. That they are that worried about Samantha, that strings were pulled. He must still have influence. Jack Dorsey still has influence at Twitter, I'm sure. Prince Harry surely has contacts there still. So, so much for free speech, so much for misinformation and all of that, that the Harkles are so keen on. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. The truth card, well, not the truth card, it's the illumination card, shedding light on something. It's, of course, the Leo card, the Sun card. So she's come out twice now, Megan, and appeared twice in this reading. She is the underlying energy of this reading. 5-card reading, this card, the underlying card, which comes from the bottom of the deck, colors all the other cards in this reading. So that is what I mean when I say the underlying energy. There is the Sun, the Leo wanting to be successful, wanting to be happy, wanting the spotlight on her, but not wanting that kind of spotlight on her, the Samantha Markle spotlight on her sister, of course. So it is there, but it is also about putting light on a situation, clarity, really, in the sense that things that are in the shadows can no longer hide in the shadows. When that sun shines on them, it is a cleansing energy. The sun, it burns away everything that's nasty and that you might want, the mists that you might be trying to cover things up with. So lots of and lots of meanings in that underlying energy. So let's see, heart of the matter, the situation card as we all see it, and that is the Fool in reverse. And that's interesting because it is literally doing something reckless, something rash. When the Fool is in upright position, it is setting off on a brave new adventure, optimistic, enthusiastic, a bit naive, but well-intentioned. Off you go with your knapsack on your back and whistling and off into the great unknown. But the card is in reverse, which means looking foolish, but it also means being reckless, being rash. And I think that this is something that was a rash decision, almost a knee-jerk reaction to the court case, that, oh no, we can't possibly have Samantha out there talking about her opinions on things, putting her side of the case out there. Not that she really can when it's sub judice, or whatever the expression is, but she does a rash element to this, if indeed he did silence her, and this is all of course alleged, and this is a tarot reading for entertainment purposes. So how does Harry feel about Samantha Markle? This is a Harry reading, even though Meghan herself has popped up twice so far on the tarot table. How does he feel about Samantha Markle? His attitude towards her, his view of her. The devil. Just the devil in reverse, but it is the devil. And it's very interesting that this card should come up, because when I read on the court case, I think it was how many readings have I done on it? I think only one. How would it go when we first heard the news that Samantha was suing Meghan for defamation? And there's a big sigh from Tess. The devil card came up as the near future energy. What would Samantha be facing next? She would be facing the devil. Dirty tricks. Dirty tricks. This is dirty tricks, really. If it is true, this is all alleged, if it is true that Prince Harry did in fact use his influence at Twitter to get Samantha silenced, that is the devil in action, as according to that previous reading that I did. But now we're looking at Harry. Harry views her as something that he is trapped by. The devil is being stuck in a toxic situation. Lies, disinformation. He views her as a liar. He, in my opinion, tarot reading, he wants to distance himself from her toxic energy. So he, and we're going to check in another card, he views her as the devil, literally, as a toxic energy, as a liar, as somebody he is stuck with, somehow he's bound to, because that's what the devil does. Your addictions, your lust for money, whatever, your lies, whatever it is, that is devil energy, has got you caught, stuck in a situation, and he is trying desperately to cut her off, to cut himself free from this devil. We have got 3 major arcana in this reading, 3 out of 6 so far. So it's very interesting. He views her as poison, as pure poison, that he really wants to silence, he wants to stop, block, toxic situation. He's not somebody that he would like to sit down with a cup of coffee and get to know. His dear wife's sister, person who probably knows Meghan best apart from her father, does not want to know, does not want to meet those 2 people, does not want them to air their opinion of Meghan. Very interesting card. So, yes, no, did he or did he not, according to the tarot, silence Samantha? Did he or did he not reach out and use his influence to silence her? And it's the 6 of Swords. And the 6 of Swords is putting distance between yourself and trouble. So I think a big fat yes. I do think so. I think it's communication. The swords are always about ideas, communication. Typing something to someone, phoning someone, saying, come on, I'm in a tricky situation now with this devil, and you need to help me to move away from this tricky situation. It is about moving, about putting distance between yourself and a tricky situation, moving away from stormy seas into calmer water. It is the card of travel, of long distance, and as I say, moving to a safe haven. So I think an absolute resounding yes, that words were used, contacts were used, influence was used to try and silence Samantha, put an end to that turbulent email account, problematic email account from Harry's point of view, Harry and Meghan's point of view, obviously. And ease himself away from the situation, but all very reckless. And the son is sitting here, so however much he might have wanted to do it in a sneaky way, we are hearing about it with the son. Light is being shed on the matter. Thomas Markle came out boldly and said, in his opinion, Harry, well, he didn't even say in his opinion, he said Harry used his influence to silence Samantha. So in the hidden energy of this reading, does Prince Harry believe the spin that Meghan has put on the situation with her family, that she never knew Samantha? She was an only child, she grew up alone, Samantha's a crazy person, all of that stuff that Meghan has, the narrative that Meghan has sold him. Does he believe it, or is he beginning to doubt it? How convinced is he of this whole situation? We've seen the devil, so it does seem as if he believes that Samantha is trouble. But is he convinced of it still? Does he believe Meghan's narrative, or is he beginning to have doubts about it? The moon in reverse, another major arcana. The moon in reverse is the sun. The moon, when it's upright, is secrets, hidden things, things that are troubling, things that you don't trust, you're not sure about, you're afraid of, things that are in the shadows, your shadow self that you project. It's a very complicated card, the moon, really. Really, because it's the yin to the yang, it's the feminine to the masculine. So it's what goes on beneath the surface, the moon. But the moon is in the reverse in this reading. It's come out in the reverse, which means he is beginning to see through the fog. The fog that has been conjured up around him. He is beginning to see the truth of the situation. What is hidden is beginning to emerge. He does have doubts about what he was told. He does wonder about it now. He does wonder if it was true. And the moon in reverse is sitting under the Fool in reverse. It puts a different colour on the Fool in reverse. It makes me think that Prince Harry has been a fool, but is now beginning to see that he has been fooled. So the outcome. And we're talking about Harry and Samantha, really, but Samantha, his ability to silence her, his view of her, anything universe wants to tell us. It's quite a broad, I didn't really pin it down to outcome of the court case or anything like that. I just want to know what universe will tell us about the consequences of this, shall we say. And it is going to cause tremendous conflict. Trouble for Harry. The foolish action that he did to try and silence the devil is going to lead to trouble, conflict. The Five of Swords is all about conflict, fighting, words. We're back with swords. We had the 6 and now we've gone backwards. So even though he tried to get away with it, he's sliding backwards to the 5. Rather amusing. A very literal answer. These cards are giving me very, very, very clear answers about this, repeating themselves actually in various ways, but they are telling me that however much he might want to get rid of Samantha, silence Samantha, he is not going to succeed. She's going to carry on as a thorn in his side for the foreseeable future, with this court case, with whatever platforms she can get on to air her grievances, to tell her side of the story. And I personally think she's been quite self-controlled and quite contained. If it had been me and this had happened to me, I don't think that I would have been so quiet. I know she has been out and about on Twitter. I know she's published a book, but she hasn't really said the things that she could have said. And I'm sure that there has been a foot on her neck and threats and all that kind of thing. But still, I think that she's taken a long time. Obviously, they were waiting for the outcome of that privacy case and copyright case, the letter, the Scarlet Letter. And now that that is over, Samantha feels she is free to do this Thomas never going to meet Meghan in a court of law in the UK. Maybe he will meet her in a court of law in the US and have a chance to say something. She wants to have her turn to say something. Meghan, of course, behind the Finding Freedom book, which Samantha believes defamed her. Meghan, of course, in the Oprah interview said things that were very negative, very harsh about her family. There it is. Conflict that's going to go on. Hollow victory. The Five of Swords is very much a hollow victory. It's sneaky energy. If you do win, if you do defeat someone in a court case or wherever, it's not going to feel like you won. You might get your £1 in damages, as Meghan got. In her case, in the UK, it's going to feel like a loss. And so that's the reading. Thank you to the Crow Tarot and to Universe for this reading. I found it very interesting. I hope you did too. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.